Hi everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to talk about the 1984 film C.H.U.D, 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 which is an acronym. Okay, so you can see the poster right there. So this film was directed by Douglas Cheek, who I don't believe did another film after this. Didn't direct too many movies. The film starred John Hurd, Christopher Curry, Daniel Stern, Kim Greist, and to get a little bit into the plot of the film, it's set in New York City. It's in the mid 80s. Some of the big themes in this movie are urban decay, crumbling infrastructure, how the underclasses of cities are treated by the city officials, and there's also an ecological theme as well. So for being very much a B movie, a creature feature, you might say, there is social commentary in here, but there's also a lot of humor and satire and things as well. So to give just briefly on the plot, so you have Daniel Stern plays a reverend who runs a soup kitchen, kind of a hippie type character who notices that many of his regulars are not showing up every morning, and he is starting to file missing persons reports to the police. Christopher Curry plays a police captain, Bosch, who is initially skeptical of these missing person reports, but his wife ends up going missing, and he starts to take these reports seriously. And we have John Hurd as a photographer and Kim Greist as his girlfriend, who live in the neighborhood and also begin to notice strange things and start to investigate what's going on. We start hearing strange noises, and we get glimpses that there's possibly people living underground, or, as we'll learn later, creatures, zombies you might call them. The acronym C.H.U.D stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers, okay? And they are starting to terrorize the neighborhood a little bit by attacking people. As the problem gets more severe, they go to city officials and tell them, of course, these city officials are very, very skeptical of these reports, although they seem to know more than they're leading on, and pretty soon the truth comes out of the corruption of the city, where they are authorizing the dumping of toxic waste and even radioactive waste in these more rundown parts of the city. They never explain why exactly, but I guess it's just because they don't care, and it's a convenient place to do it, and they didn't expect, zombies to arise out of all of this. So that's basically the story. Like I said, there's themes. It's a horror sci-fi film, very much a B movie. There's jump scares. There's some horror type moments throughout, but also kind of a callback to sci-fi movies of the 50s as well, like Them or creature features of the 50s where you have nuclear waste or nuclear fallout, leading to mutations and things like that. But C.H.U.D is a kind of a real mid 80s spin on the genre. And like I said, the New York City in the mid 1980s, about the crumbling infrastructure and the state of the city is very much part of the film as well. It has a really great synth soundtrack by two people worked on that. Daniel Hughes and Michael Cooper. So if you like 80s synth soundtracks, and that's on YouTube, it's really good. Really good. Adds a lot to the film. There's a lot of humor in the film. C.H.U.D's really of a part of it. It's in the same time period, same place as Ghostbusters. So you can imagine the events of Ghostbusters kind of happening, in this cinematic universe, okay, but also the Scorsese movie After Hours, which is not a science fiction movie, but about Griffin Dunne playing a character who kind of gets lost in the city at night. So I kept expecting to see Griffin Dunn wandering around C.H.U.D at some point. So imagining all these movies, kind of blending together. But no, C.H.U.D's a lot of fun. I think I like the movie, and there are some scenes in the film you might be like, well, why are they having this scene or this too? But to me, that just adds to the fun of it. There's a hilarious small appearance by John Goodman, an early role, and also Jay Thomas, famous comedian, where they play these two bozo cops who they're in the film very briefly, but it's a memorable scene. So there are some fun moments like that, and like I said, Chud didn't do too well when it came out. But like I said, it became a cult film. I have to think the VHS, it became a favorite on VHS, and there would also be a sequel the Chud made. Other medias like comics and fan fiction would become a big part of Chud. So it found its audience, and it remains. And there's even it's influenced other movies. Most famously, I think, Us, the Jordan Peele film from 2019, which on the opening shot of Us, there's a bunch of VHS tapes in the foreground, and Chud is clearly there. So, and if you've seen Chud, or if you've seen Us, you'll see the similarities between the two films in their themes. So that's cool, and kind of gives a movie like Chud a new life. So anyway, and as I mentioned before, Chud is available on Tubi right now, so you can watch it for free if you've not seen it. Might not be for everybody, it's not like a straight sci-fi or straight horror movie. Like I said, it's kind of just a kind of a wacky offbeat creature feature. I think I felt like it feels like a Barney Miller episode blended with like a George Romero movie. Like you get those two sensibilities clash together. So anyway, I enjoyed it. So yeah. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Chud. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.